I want to. I hope Evan Ipsero is okay. I hope it's just a scare. You never want to see somebody go down like that, and what it looks like. Don't want to speculate, but thoughts are with him, and I hope he's okay. One, I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's a hell of a competitor. The guy fights. He's been there. This is his third year, and he's just gotten better and better. And I respect the hell out of him as a player, what he provides to that team. And they're 12-0 now, and he's responsible for a lot of that. They got a lot of good players, but I think he's really stepped up and controls a lot of things for them. So thoughts are with them. Second, I think Miami's really good. They put a lot of pressure on you offensively. They can spread you out in a lot of ways. Obviously, you guys saw that as they were 13-24 from three. Put a lot of pressure on you. I think, I will say I think this is, I thought we did a lot of really good things. I thought we played pretty well. Now we had some crucial breakdowns that cost us games. There's 13 points in the first half where we make defensive mistakes that you just can't have. We're not built in a way that we can overcome those type of mistakes. We overhelped. We helped white on white. I don't want to call guys out. We helped white on white and gave Byers a three. Okay, we stand flat-footed and help when we got a guy forcing, like maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't. Byers another three. We get communications wrong on a step-up screen. Allison three. Okay, poor closeout into the half two. We miss a layup and it gets him in transition. Another two. There's 13 points on the second half of the back end of the first half that really hurt us. That you can't give those guys, you can't give good teams those type of shots. And Miami's a very good offensive team. And then our poor start to second half. I'll go back and watch it, but I got us between 7 or 9 missed layups that were crucial in the second half when different times making runs. It's a 2-point game, and I think we have a missed layup, but we battle our ass off, get an offensive rebound, and miss two pretty good looks at three. I think we give up a basket, we come down there in zone, we execute a zone play really well, and I shoot an air ball on a 15-foot pull-up, which is a really good shot by a guy that makes those a lot. So just the mistakes that we make and at really inopportune times, I think really hurt us. Now, like I said, I think they're a really good basketball team, and I think we played really well. Like, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our execution out of timeouts were really good. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough of them where we could continue to dial some of that stuff up. But our guys played hard, really competed. It's just those mental breakdowns. Those plays at the end of the first half, those 13 points that I talked about, those are upsetting because they don't require any talent, right? It requires discipline. It requires mental toughness. People mistake, they talk this confidence. Like, mental toughness provides confidence, right? Because you got to have mental toughness to overcome adversity and difficult things and getting to the next play. Like, confidence without mental toughness is false bravado. It's just false bravado. It's fake. Like, it's a front-running thing. And so we've got to make sure that we tighten up those things where we don't make those mistakes in those times, because it doesn't take talent. Like, that's not a talent issue. Okay, that's a discipline and focus and alertness issue, and we are who we are, but I do think, like I told the guys, like, you played your ass off, you played really well, you did a lot of really good things, a lot of really good things, but until we can clean up these crucial errors, it's going to be difficult for us to win games.
How do you go about fixing things like that?
You
that
just
are
drill.
talent?
Yeah, you just drill, right? You can continue to put them in those situations. Like when they want to poo-poo things in practice, because it's the details. Like you drill those details, and unless you're taking them serious, like when you get fatigued and in stressful situation, your habits come out. Okay, what good habits or bad habits? They come out. All right, it's stressful. You're fatigued. Your habits come out, and we just haven't developed. Our habits aren't good enough in those important moments where we can sustain. That's why we have a lack of consistency.
First half from the 3-point line, they knocked down 10 of those 13 threes, and then to only hold them in to three 3-pointers in that second half. What kind of adjustments did you guys make defensively to kind of keep them off the arc a little bit more there?
Say that again. They made 5 in the second half.
Did they? Oh,
They
I'm
made
sorry.
5. It felt like 11.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I completely misread that earlier, but it felt like they took a lot less of the 3-point shots in the second half. So what kind of adjustments kind of went in between the halves there?
Well, we did a good job of we didn't. I don't remember us off the top of my head getting. And we got one back cut, but I think we knocked it. They dropped it, and we turned it over. That was like the only time we really got back cut that was threatening. That was key for us. They do a great job of slipping screens, whether flares or pin downs, put you in a lot of because they can space the floor. And so we did it. We spent a lot of work this week in going through that. I thought our guys did a really good job on that. There was a couple times with Allison that they put us in a pistol action, and we switched it, and they threw it back to me and still shot. Like those are the things that I'm talking about. Like it's one thing you got to help on the drive and you throw it back. You choose to guard it that way. When you switch it, you're right there. Like how's he get it? And second, how's he shoot it? And then you got to quit fouling jump shooters. It's inexcusable to continue to foul jump shooters and give them free throws. They shot 14 free throws, or is this 14 free throws?
22 total. I think 14 in the second half.
Yeah, 14 in the second half.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. 14 in the second half.
Yeah. And I think on some of those fouls, like in the second half, there were a few points where you guys were within 2 points, 4 points, and there would be kind of an untimely foul. And how do you kind of keep your team positive when maybe some of those foul calls aren't going the way you kind of want them to?
Well, that goes back to the mental toughness part. Like you got to block some of that stuff out, and you got to be better. I think, nobody's beating Miami, right? They're going to go into the Christmas undefeated. That's difficult at our level, to be quite honest. They're very talented. I think they've done an outstanding job in the portal. Suter's a portal guy, Wolford's a portal guy, Atlason's a portal guy. I think Ipsaro, he's a guy that they recruited out of high school. They finished second in our league last year. They lost a sub, their 6th or 7th man, to Kentucky, right? They didn't lose them to UT Martin. No offense. They lost them to Kentucky, okay? Their 6th or 7th man, and they retain those other guys. So, they're working the portal, they're working retention. It's really good, and they play extremely well together. It's a veteran group, very high basketball IQ. You can just listen to them talking out there, and their talk and what they're saying to each other. It's a very connected group. It's a really good basketball team. And so, you got to give a lot of credit to those guys.
How much do you think facing a team like that is going to help this team going forward into the rest of MAC play?
I told them in the locker room, the positive thing is it's a weird little dynamic because I don't think we're very far away, but yet I think we're miles away because until we can fix our mentality, until we can we may have an above average practice, but 3 or 4 guys in that practice are just terrible, just awful. It's not like the whole practice is bad, but you got a core group of guys that you depend on that just have a poor practice. How are you developing? Since basketball was invented, a major rule as a player. As a player, your job is to make your coach play you. That's your job. Whether your coach is looking for a defensive lineup, all right, I'm in it. Okay, your coach needs offense, I'm in it. Okay, free throw blockout lineup, I'm in it. Okay, special situations underneath out of bounds defensive line, I'm in it. Comeback team, I'm in it. Like that, your job as a player is to make your coach play. Okay, end of story. Like you don't get playing time because you're older. You don't get playing time because you got a couple stars next to your name. You don't get playing time because you get the most extra benefits. Okay, you have to earn your playing time, and right now we don't have enough consistency across our roster that we know what we're getting each and every night, and that part is frustrating and disappointing. I thought Elmore James played really well tonight. I thought Joey Hart's had a couple of really good games. He's had a couple bad practices. I didn't think he played particularly well tonight. Now he's got his foot injury is flaring up, and so I know there's some things there. So I understand that part. But we've just got to have more consistent play from a core group of guys that we can really build on.
Why do you think that is? Like,
It's a
what
great
guys
question.
aren't-
I tell you what, if I knew, we'd have it fixed. I think it comes back to like the mental toughness, like what you're worrying about, what's important. Are you worried about, what's best for Ball State, or are you worried about what's best for you and how it's going for you? And, I think, we've talked about it before, like being where your feet are, being very appreciative of your opportunity, to where I saw a couple former players in the crowd tonight. And it's a different landscape, but like you got to be appreciative of what you have here and the opportunity that you have here, and anything that's happening to you here. Your mind can't be somewhere else. Your mind can't be on what's next, whether it's post graduation, what you want to do, or if you're trying to do something that's available to you in today's college basketball landscape. Like you have to be worried, because otherwise you're worried about the wrong things, and you're not. You put too much on yourself. The people around you put too much on you, and you carry too much weight. You got to appreciate the opportunity that you have, and just pour yourself into it, do your job. Whatever's next is going to happen, and you don't really control a lot of that.
And then my last thing, you guys have 9 days to your next game. What do you want to see this group maybe either change their mindset or kind of have their mentality in these next 9 days?
I want them to go spend some time with their families. They need to do that. We got 5 days here, which it may be too much. I don't know. It may be the right amount. Maybe these guys need to get away, a little bit. But that's probably as long a break as I've ever experienced since probably a junior high player. To be honest with you. We'll reconvene. They got to be back on campus on Christmas night. I apologize to Jay Ant, because he's got to fly across the country, so he's going to have to get on a plane on Christmas morning. That sucks for him. I apologize to him. I apologize to him in the locker room. But we got to get him back on Christmas night so we can get to work on the 26th. I refuse to practice on Christmas, but we'll reconvene on the 26th to try to flush some Christmas out so we can get to preparation beginning on the 27th. So the positive thing is, like I think we played a pretty solid game. It's just those little mistakes that you just can't make when your margin for error is so slim.
I guess just to start, there were a lot of moments, especially in that second half, where you guys got right there and, it'd be a foul or something would happen. How do you guys kind of fight through that adversity when you have foul calls that maybe aren't going your way?
You just got to move on. You can't, there's no amount of arguing with anybody that's going to change the call. I've never seen it in the entire time I played basketball. Me personally, I just got to do better at moving to the next play.
Yeah, I think I agree with what Fish said. We all got to do a better job of that as a team. I feel like the more positive we can be and the more we can get past those type of plays, I feel like the better off we'll be, especially going on, getting deeper in MAC play too. So I think that's going to help us a lot once we get over that curve, those type of things.
Yeah, it seemed like, they were really kind of killing it from beyond the arc, 10 3-pointers in the first half. Second half, they only made 3 more. What kind of adjustments did you guys put in to kind of limit them from the deep shots in the second half?
Just aggressiveness. That's what they do. That's their game. So You do the best you can to try to take apart part of their game and, you know, see where it leaves them.
We pretty much just said we had to have more urgency. We was letting them get off a lot of rhythm threes, and obviously a good team like that, you can't just let them just shoot a lot of threes, which is what they do best, you know. So we felt like in the first half they were too comfortable, and we knew in the second half we had to adjust a few things. So
Yeah, I know you and I talked about it the other day, but when it comes to that second half, some struggles you guys see in the second half, but today's game, it felt like you kind of cleared the hurdle in that. You guys looked great, but what changed for you guys this week about playing better after halftime?
I mean, I preach this in any interview. Like, we take it steps. Like, I know it's not the outcome that we want, but like you said, like, you watching the game and you noticing the difference. We coming out with more energy. We coming out with more pop. That's just been the message. Like, that's what we need. Those first four is a huge tone setter. You get to see, who's hot, who's not in those first 4 minutes. So we got to come in and make sure that nobody get hot.
I mean, we always talk about how we might put together like 30 minutes one game, like 32 minutes another game. Like we trying to preach this. We got to put together a full 40. We expect to be good teams like Miami, or like Akron, who we're gonna see later in MAC play and stuff like that. So, it comes down to those small details. No small details when you mess up. They come back to bite you in the late game when you playing a good team like Miami. So we just got to keep moving forward and building that type of aspect too.
Yeah, Elmore, you had a season high today, 20 points. What was it like for you to kind of get back into the groove of MAC play with your experience, having been in this conference for years now?
I mean, it felt pretty good, but I mean, at the end of the day, winning is more important, though. I would have loved if we could have won against a team like that. They were undefeated. We had a good opportunity today, but we didn't get the job done. But we're not gonna hang our heads on it. We're gonna keep moving forward and keep working. Once we come back, we can get back to work and keep building with each other.
You guys kind of talk about the progress and doing what you guys did today against the number one team in the MAC right now. What does that say about this team and maybe what the future could look for you guys?
I mean, we got a real shot. That's exactly what I mean. If you don't, as a player, like me playing that, like if you don't play in that game and realize that like we got some dudes that can get it done. If we put it all together, that's just what it is. I mean, they're undefeated. You can say what you want about their schedule, like it's still undefeated. You still got to go out there and win the games, and they're a good team. So, like El said, it was close. We was within two. Had an opportunity to take them down. Go on this break, with a better move. But it's just every day you gotta watch film, figure out where we went wrong, and then apply it, change it next time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great sign. Like Fish said, we lost. It wasn't the outcome we wanted, but I feel like to give a team like that a run for their money who's undefeated right now, I think that's a really good sign, just to see that we can compete with the best of them in our conference right now. So, but the only thing is we just got to continue to keep building. That's the most important part.